It will focus in its first year on increasing enforcement on existing cases by applying the new powers. Again, it's got to be existing cases that haven't paid anything as opposed to those that are already paying. Enabling parents to make their own child maintenance arrangements by removing the requirement for parents with care who claim benefits to be treated as applying for child maintenance, and helping them make an active choice by providing or commissioning new information and support services, and ensuring in conjunction with Job Centre Plus that all parents with care can take advantage of the £20 a week disregard the amount of maintenance that a parent with care on benefit can keep before their benefit is affected, where maintenance is being paid. The focus will then be on the arrangements for moving cases where parents are unable to make their own arrangements onto the new regime, minimising disruption for parents and providing continuity of service during the transfer. It's essential that that's done. Non-resident parents who do not pay their child maintenance will be rigorously pursued. That's all well and good, and I like the sound of most of it, but what I don't like is the focus will then be on the arrangements for moving cases where parents are unable to make their own arrangements onto the new regime. Where parents are unable to make their own arrangements, it only takes the mother to refuse, make problems, and the father's trying to do his bit to make the arrangements. There's going to be one ginormous stumbling block, and it's just not going to happen, and there's going to be no further forward. And that's from James Plaskett MP, Parliamentary Under Secretary of State. I'm glad to see that they are going to be reformed and something is being done. And again, I'm not a Conservative, a Labour, a Green, a Blue, a Purple, or whatever you like, but something is being done somewhere and people are listening. But in my opinion, the whole of the CSA, the Child Support Agency, needs to be wound up, and what we really need is an FSA, and that's really a family support agency where child support is part of that family support agency, and when the child support is one department of that, it means that the person who has a problem in other areas of child support can still be linked together, whereas at the moment everything is piecemeal and everybody has their own department and they are not linked. And that is the problem, where things can take months and years to clear up, and by that time there are so many additional problems brought into families and people that it's now beyond a joke, and it's irreversible, totally irreversible. So what we need is a family support agency, FSA, and that is what's needed. And within that family support agency, we need people who are concerned about keeping families together, keeping them in contact, whereby we can have something like quarterly meetings to make sure that everything's okay. It's not a problem. It might sound horrendous, but it isn't. And it takes just minutes for people to get together and get things sorted out. And quite often, lots of information is given by the resident parent, the mother, which are total and utter lies. But of course, it means that scores or league tables sound pretty good coming from the CSA with the amount of money that they've collected. They've collected it from people like me. I've lived in the same place for donkey's years. I'm not going anywhere. So, why are they still collecting money for me? I've been paying 13 years. I think after 13 years somebody would think that I think it's proof enough that I want to support my child and I want to pay. Why should I have to go through and pay this money through the CSA? If you look at it, I go to work, earn some money, I can come home, send it from standing order or similar, parent to parent, job done. But no, what happens? I go to work and earn some money. Another group of people work out how much money I should pay. They then inform my employer. My employer then the money from my salary and charges a quid to do that, and that is then sent from mine to theirs, from theirs to the resident parent. So how many people are involved? It just makes a joke of the whole issue. Now, how many more people can be made available who are already employed by the CSA to chase those people that aren't paying? Because if they don't have to do all this tremendous amount of paperwork, and it is a tremendous amount, those people aren't needed to do that anymore. They could then have the same amount of salary and wages bill and overheads and everything else to actually go out and sort out where the people who do not pay. I mean, I've paid thousands, absolutely thousands, and I want to pay for my child the same as everybody else wants to pay for their child and have a good upbringing for the child. There's always a few people that don't wish to do that, and that's up to them. But I don't see why we should pay for them. We should support the child. I see that we should have to pay for those. All in all, the CSA has to be stopped, and it has to become the FSA, where we have different departments within that FSA, and they're all linked, they all talk, they all communicate. So you can go into one department and say, this is my job. You can go into another place, this is my son. You can go into another place, this is my problems, and they're all linked together and they talk and communicate. It's no good having what we've got now, because it doesn't work, and it's causing terrific heartache for thousands upon thousands of people, and it just doesn't work. And the children, if this is an agency, they are there to look after the money that we give them to go to our child or children. And the fact is, it doesn't always get there. It gets used on the worst scenario, drugs and booze. After that, lots of this money doesn't go on clothes and food. It goes on doing the house up, doing the garden up, extra bits for the car, and this is how it's done. And I've seen these kids, they have lots and lots of money given to the mother, but it doesn't get to the child, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. But there should be, because as a child support agency worker, they should be actually doing that. They should be making sure that their money is there, and that's why I've included this POPs, proof of purchase. We need to know where our money's going. We want to make sure the money is going to the child, that they are well fed, that they are getting the clothing that they're supposed to be bought, of which they're not. So the CSA not only can't do its job, it fails when it's taken the money. Everywhere along the line, the CSA have failed. I'm sure they've found some people, and they've got them paying, and they've got some money. But the worst thing is, the people who wish to pay, want to look after their children, are now made out to be rogues and bad parents. And I can assure you we're not. I am certainly not a bad parent, and I certainly want to support my child, and have done, and will continue to do so. But I will fight tooth and nail to destroy the CSA, because it's just unexplainable how the CSA is still here. Nobody wants it, apart from parents who want money to spend on something else, or to have a go at their exes or spouses or whatever. But it has to stop, and it has to stop now.